everybody, peace, welcome to this video, and today we're going to talk about wants and desires and needs and all that good stuff. Hope you enjoy.
From beautiful seeds to flourishing legacies.
So there's this conversation that has been happening with so many people about the importance of asserting our needs in accepting what we want. And when I talk about these things, I'm talking about in the aspect of things that we enjoy, things that which remind us of ourselves. And the context also that I'm talking about it is in the context of a person who for the longest time has been masking, and that is the fitting word for this, masking who they really are by muting what their needs are. They don't talk about what bothers them. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say anything that might bring attention to themselves. So they're constantly acquiescing, they're constantly accepting, and they completely diminish their own wants and their own needs. And they do this most of the time because it is instinctual. They will choose to belong and to attach before being authentic and being true to who they really are. And when we accept the things that we need and the things that we want, then that reminds us to accept a part of ourselves. And there is so many nuances in that as well, because then what is a good want, what is a good need, and all of that. But hopefully I'll get to that. But the point that I'm making is, when you have been someone who has not talked about things that are important to you, not talked about your needs, it can be very hard to know what you want. And then what happens is, after a while, you begin to work on yourself. You might have had a child. There might have been some relationship that you had with someone, and it really made you think about yourself. It made you think about your connection with yourself, and it made you think about being a better person, right? We're all here to try and be better people. That's why we're watching this video. And what happened was that you begin to question, like, who am I? What do I want? What do I need? Why does this make me so angry? Or some of you might have begun to get sick, physically sick. That actually is what happened to me. I began to have autoimmune disorders, and things that I couldn't really explain physically began happening to me, and I began to question what is going on, right? So, and then I began to realize that I've been muting my needs for so long that I didn't even know what I needed anymore. So anyway, I took a step towards that direction of really listening to what I wanted, and that's what happens when you begin to really accept yourself. You begin to take a step towards yourself. In my case, one of the first few things that I began to notice that I really enjoyed was the font, F-O-N-T of a writing style, right? And it was a computer font, and you'll probably see it everywhere where on my website and all that good stuff. But it's this font that I just really, really loved, and I began to question, why do I love this font so much? And then there was flowers, and then there was other things, and there was the colors of things, and then there was these boots and all that good stuff, and the feeling was so intense. The feeling was so intense when I first began to listen to what I wanted and what I needed, right? And these weren't things that I needed. Needs were something separate. But in this case of wanting, it was a surprise to me how much passion I had for these things, which seemed so little and so minute compared to what other people thought as being something that most people would want, right? But for me, it was like the biggest thing in the world. It reminded me of myself, and I just want to speak to that. I don't think that it's spoken about enough, that when you begin to really see the things that remind you of yourself, it's not an identity, it's something that reminds you of yourself. It brings you back to yourself. It could be something that you do when you're writing a project, right? For me, it's my story for my book, or it could be something else. It could be the front cover of my book right there, and it's something that reminds me of myself, and it brings me to myself. And in the beginning, when we first begin to listen to our needs, and this is what I wanted to talk about, is that the feeling can be so intense that it almost throws you off, and you can almost feel yourself getting a little triggered. You might begin to feel numb. You might begin to feel terrified. You might begin to feel like you want to lash out, or you might begin to lash out on yourself because you have said no to yourself so much it almost feels selfish, right? So that in the beginning is absolutely normal. And the reason why the feelings feel so intense is because you are stepping into a relationship with yourself. And that is what's happening. And any relationship, when you begin to fall in love with yourself, it is intense. You want to spoil yourself, you want to gift yourself. There's all these emotions that you're having because you've never done that for yourself before. And that is the first person that should be on your list to prioritize in order to really give with grace to everybody else. And I just really wanted to speak to that. So it's okay to want, and it's important to know our needs. And in the beginning, of when we begin to know what we want, is going to be intense. It's going to be unsettling. You're going to feel destabilized. You're going to feel selfish. But then at the same time, with time, you're going to begin to fall in love with yourself even more and even more, font by font, flower by flower, color by color, boot by boot, whatever it is that really lights you up, because it's not selfish to want. It's about wanting the right things. And what happens is, when you are on a journey of growth towards coming closer to the Creator, your wants will begin to become more aligned with His wants, right? You will begin to love what the Creator loves, and then everything will become so much clearer, right? And that is something unique for each of us, because we are all different people. We all have different wants and we all have different needs. We have been created beautifully different, and that is what is so unique about us. And not all of us are going to want the same thing, and authenticity is different for each of us, and that is wonderful in itself. I hope that this video pushes you to think about one small thing that you really want, and to accept it about yourself, and to work towards accepting yourself as well, with every small want, and doing it hopefully in small doses as well, because it could go to the other extreme where you begin to want everything, right? But it's all about healing. It's all about growth. It's all about taking a step closer to yourself in a way that is balanced and authentic, and opens you up to a more beautiful world as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I also have a free downloadable for you. It is from my book, The Woke Writer. It is all about letting go, and there is also a full course which is free and available for you, and you can find out all the information under this video. That free course is on my book, The Woke Writer, and if you take really good notes, you don't even need to buy the book. All the information is in there. Have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. Peace.